Another study in Colossians, one of the meatier books of doctrine, starting in right in chapter 1 and halfway through verse 9, all the way to the 23. Okay, so praying, asking God to fill you, Christians, with the knowledge of his will through all spiritual wisdom and understanding. 10, and we pray this in order that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and may please him in every way, bearing fruit, growing in Christianity in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God and being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience and joyfully giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in through Christ's death in the inheritance of the saints in the kingdom of light. For he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us in the kingdom of the Son he loves, in whom we have redemption and forgiveness of sins. He is the image of the invisible God, Jesus, and the mystery. Jesus said, you see the Father, you see me, and vice versa. The firstborn of all creation. For by him, Jesus, all things were created. He was the Word. Things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things were created by him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church, called out ones will have God's Spirit. He is Christians in the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead, the first born again, the first time, right, in flesh to a new man, not the second time into a spiritual being. That's when Christ returns. Anyways, so that in everything he might have the supremacy, Jesus. For God was pleased, God the Father, to have all his fullness dwell in him, in Jesus Christ. It gives inklings of this Godhead. It's God the Father was pleased to have all his fullness, his ways in Jesus. It gives inklings, still such a mystery. I'll go quick for the ending here. And through him to reconcile Jesus, to reconcile himself, all things, to put everyone back on good graces with God, him, God the Father, through Christ's blood. Whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. Once you were alienated from God and were enemies in your minds because of your evil behavior, but now he has reconciled, God the Father, you by Christ's physical blood through his death to present you holy in his sight, that you could pray into the Holy of Holies without blemish and free from all accusation. If you continue in his faith, established and firm to the end. Here's another one. You continue in the faith to the end. Walk the walk to the end. Carry the cross. Run the race on and on. For the hope held out in the gospel to the end. This is the gospel that you heard and that has been proclaimed to every creature under heaven, and of which I, Paul, have become a servant. So there's a lot of little nuggets in there. I don't have time that I emphasized. Okay. Thank you. Bye.